Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Stillison. I'm an attorney. I'm from Westfield, New Jersey. I'm here tonight. I've been asked by a number of my fellow Union County mountain biker advocates to ask you why mountain biking is not permitted at the Watchung Reservation. Two main points I want to emphasize tonight are transparency and access. The county must be transparent and inclusive in its decision making. Currently, biking within the reservation and every other Union County park is banned. Why? Nobody knows. Yesterday, I read a Star Ledger article in 2014 in which one of the freeholders said, was quoted as saying, that the county's looking at this issue. That's 2 years ago. Just this week, I received another communication from the county that the county is still studying the issue and that a trail may be built in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, the county's decision-making process on this issue needs to come out into the open. The Union County mountain biking community, along with all other trail users, must be involved in the decision-making process for trail access at Watchung Reservation. Not only are we taxpayers and voters, but we are stakeholders in Watchung, just like every other trail user group: Boy Scouts, hikers, equestrians, archaeologists. This unjust ban has been in place for 20 years. Now is the time to end it. We are no longer willing to wait for years until the county makes up its mind on what it's going to do, and then simply be informed of that decision. We are here tonight to show that we will be involved and we aren't going away. My second point, access, is just as important as transparency. Union County currently has no accessible mountain biking trails. In fact, it's one of only 2 counties in the entire state that has no mountain biking access. However, a mixed-use shared trail access concept has been successfully adopted around the state to everyone's benefit. Here are a few examples of smaller parks where it's been used. Somerset County, Chimney Rock Park. In Morris County, Lewis Morris Park. Alair Park down in Ocean County. All of these parks have partnered with an organization called JORBA. That's the Jersey Off-Road Biking Association. It's all volunteers, not for profit. Together, the land managers and JORBA have successfully integrated different trail users into one trail alliance with very little, if any, problems. With its size and current trail network and a ready and willing volunteer base, Watchung Reservation is perfect for shared trail access planning. Not only is Watchung perfect for mixed-use shared trail access, it's already successfully happened. Earlier this year, the signs at Watchung Reservation banning mountain biking came down. Mountain bikers understandably began to return to the park, thinking that the ban had been lifted. And by the way, the ambiguity regarding the ban was a direct result of the county's lack of transparency and refusal to communicate with JORBA and the mountain biking community. I can say with great confidence that every interaction between bikers, hikers, and equestrians was positive. I personally helped lost hikers with directions, and I know many other bikers have done the same. This soft opening, if you will, is a tangible example of the positive and productive results of sharing the trails. The county should immediately go back to this model, remove the signs, and lift the ban on biking at Watchung. To sum it up, we need transparency and access. JORBA and the Union County mountain biking community, along with all other trail users, must be involved in the decision-making process at Watchung. Comparable parks in New Jersey have shown that mixed-use shared trail access for bikes is a win-win solution for all trail users. We are confident that with the mountain biking community involvement, the same results will happen at Watchung Reservation. Thank you.
It's obvious from the first 2 speakers that there are 2 sides to this story. And I would hope that we're not going to see tonight turn into a warm debate of he said, she said. Here's where we are. The law in the County of Union for a long time has been that bikes are not allowed to be ridden in any of our county parks. And in fact, that is still the law. And I don't know what happened to the signs that were up there, but they were not removed by the county. And that's why new signs were put up, because as we sit here today, bicycle riding in the parks is still not allowed. But that is being changed. And in fact, earlier this year, this freeholder board adopted a revised park master plan, which does provide for bicycle paths for bicyclists to ride in Watchung Reservation. That plan is still in the process of being put into place, and I am told by our recreation director that in fact, I think he said in October, there is a planned meeting with, an open meeting with bicyclists from across the county to get input into implementing the new bike trail. The plan that we put in place provides for separate trails for bicyclists and walkers and equestrians, so that hopefully we can avoid some of the problems that obviously occur when you have a limited amount of space and many people wanting to use it. So this freeholder board has heard the bicyclists, and we understand your concerns, and we are trying to address them. But we're trying to address them in a reasonable and reasoned fashion that deals with everybody's concern. I do want to say, I do believe we've been as transparent as can be on this issue. It has been many years that there's been a ban, but it only came to the attention of the freeholder board relatively recently, within the last couple of years, that there was a, if you will, a new movement to ask for us to reconsider this. And in fact, this board did reconsider it, and we are moving in that direction. So we are hopeful that we can ensure that the Watchung Reservation is available to all our citizens to use in the various modes that they want to use it. And so that being said, I'll be happy to take more comments, but we are moving in that direction.
Thank you. Understood. My name is Jamie Meiselman, resident of Westfield, and a third-generation Union County person as well. Grew up in Westfield, class of '87. My father grew up in Silver Works in Elizabeth. My mother in Linden. And the reason I mention that is, as a teenager in Westfield, my friends and I used to ride in Watchung Reservation when it was legal and when mountain biking was at its infancy. And I have incredibly fond memories of being outside, doing something healthy with my friends as a teenager, and moved away from the area for school and career, and moved back in 2004, moved back to Westfield, learned that mountain biking was banned, and it's really unfortunate. So I am here to represent some of the fellow mountain biking community of Union County. I mean, if you guys want to raise your hand just to give an idea of who's here for the, oh wow, more than I thought, right? Good. So as you can see, we're a pretty diverse group of people from probably almost every town, if not all the towns in Union County. And again, I just want to, and I'm not going to, you guys have certainly made very reasonable points, and I'm not going to try to dispute them one-on-one. I'm just going to go through a quick presentation that I believe all of you guys were given copies of today. So, executive summary, transparency and access. Andrew went through all these. Union County has no legal mountain bike trails right now. And as you can see, a very large and enthusiastic population of mountain bike riders. And we want to know why. We understand that something is in the works, but we are really here to make sure that that process gets tightened up and that a real direct line of communication can occur between who's working for the county, for the riders, for Jorba, and for the other trail users. We want to make sure that we'll have the best result if everyone works together and we sort of get to the finish line and really the starting line with this. With respect to access, Watchung Reservation, the size, the terrain, the capacity actually make it a perfect candidate for a safe and enjoyable integration of mountain biking with all of the trail users. And along with that, you're going to get the cooperation of Jorba, who, in the state of New Jersey, as he said, there's 21 parks that Jorba oversees. Each park over 1,000 hours of volunteer trail maintenance to maintain and improve not only the trails themselves, but etiquette and behavior. And if there are any riders that are misbehaving, they have a trail ambassador program, almost like a ski patrol, volunteer guys that can make sure that that kind of stuff is kept to a minimum. So that's the basic summary. Jorba, again, just real quickly, They've been around since 1999. They're a nonprofit. On their website, their mission is to build and maintain sustainable multi-use trails, organize and encourage volunteerism and responsibility, and advocate for foster mountain biking as a healthy, environmentally sound, and sustainable activity. So these guys are pros. They already oversee this in 21 parks in New Jersey. Unfortunately, the closest one to Watchung Reservation is Chimney Rock, which is about 30 minutes without traffic and usually a lot more. Jorba is the official affiliate for New Jersey of the International Mountain Biking Association. Those guys are the global pros at all this. They know how to integrate safe mountain biking in parks all over the world. They're working not only in the US and Canada, but in 30 other countries worldwide. So they really set best practices for making these facilities, these trails, great for all trail users. And with respect to the issues of liability, Jorba itself carries liability insurance for itself and all its volunteers, all its trail workers. They hold products and completed operations policies and directors and officers policies. These guys work in New Jersey, which, as you know, is one of the most prestigious states in the country. They've been doing it since '99 in 21 parks, and the issue of liability has really not been a significant issue for them. Real quickly, comparables to Watchung Reservation. I'll just take another minute. Chimney Rock, it's in Somerset County. It's the closest place to Watchung Reservation. It's 705 acres with 14 miles of trails. All of those trails are open to bikes and hikers. And Jorba volunteers, I actually was doing it yesterday myself, over 1,000 trail hours of maintenance per year. Free labor. Next one, Lewis Morris. Morris County, that's about 40 minutes away. You guys maybe have been there, you gotta drive through Morristown. 1,154 acres, 10 plus miles of trails. This is probably one that is probably most what I would consider what we should follow for the Watchung model.
I'm sorry, time is up.
Let me just finish up one real quick.
One sentence to go.
Okay. All right, now I'm just gonna go right to Watchung, okay? It is 2,200 acres, as you know. That's more than these two combined.
5 minutes is up.
All right, well, you guys have the deck. And
We have the presentation, we appreciate it, we'll see if I need it.
Yeah, and our emails are on there. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
My name is Tom Gockel. I'm a retired CPA. I live in Westfield. I lived there for 21 years. The issue we're talking about here is a 2,200 public reservation. If we were to say we weren't letting the park business and sell it for residential lots, the county would collect $2.4 billion, in my estimate. I consulted with an architect in Westfield, Greg Talmont, and a senior engineer in an engineering company in North Jersey to determine what those numbers would be. My point is, it's a very material asset that we're talking about here. And I want to say that mountain biking brings more people into the parks, which, in my opinion, are quite underutilized, especially during the week. Since the signs have come down, I was unaware that it was illegal to ride in the park. I've been there very often this summer. And I think that having more people in there makes it safer for everyone. First, I just wanted to say also that the federal government generally supports mountain biking. And it's a recreational activity that's shared by many, many in the community, of which there are approximately 30 here tonight. All the trails that I ride are shared by hikers, and Jamie mentioned some of those. The Morris County Parks, Lewis Morris, or Somerset County Parks at Chimney Rock, Blair, in Monmouth County, Archer, and Huber. There are even more challenging parks, for example, Wissahickon and Philly, where everyone shares the trails. We do brings significant free labor into the parks. For example, both Vicky and there, they're Union County residents, and they're working on the trails in Somerset County because we can't work on the trails with Jorba. However, during the trail day on August 6th, there were 12 mountain bikers and 23 people working on the trails there. So we put a significant amount of time in the first trail day. We were where we could attend. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Hello. Excuse me. My name is Brian Matul. Union County resident. I've lived here all my adult life. 4 miles to the reservation, except for the fact that it's uphill both ways because of the mountain. It's within biking distance, so I can actually ride my bike for 2 miles. Something I did when I was a youngster, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I and other mountain bikers were banned. What I've been able to find out doing research into it, because there isn't a lot of information available about what happened 20 years ago. It was done without much public input, at least on the part of the bikers. Things never went away. We remain here. We're Union County residents, we're citizens, we're voters. We've been waiting for years, for 2 decades. That's a long time. To see some progress in park access. And we did. There was a meeting in February. County guy and consultant, they were working on a trail plan, considering a trail plan developing, how to put it. And then there were bike sites came down. And that was the first tangible evidence anybody had seen in 20 years. And people were overjoyed. People assumed that with no communication coming out of the county on a regular basis, no offense, people had to assume that this action spoke for it and that the ban was no longer being enforced. So people rode there. I rode there. I rode there, tried to ride there once a week. My commute actually takes me to Skyjack Drive. And I would specifically, I'd bring a bike and a change of clothes, and I would ride there. I was using the park every week during the weekdays, as well as on the weekends. I used to see cars on the parking spaces on Skyjack Drive after the signs came down. Every day, 2 or 3 cars. Some people were hiking, a lot of people, you could tell, were biking racks and stuff. And it made me very happy to see other people using the park. Because I tell you, I've been there back and forth there over the years. It doesn't get a lot of use on the weekdays. He's absolutely right about that. It was nice to see people using the park. After the signs went up, I drove through there, and I think I saw 1 car during the week. The last week, the signs went up last week. We shouldn't be arbitrarily barred. These gentlemen have explained the situation at various other parks. Lewis Morris is probably topographically, as a rider and as a hiker, I do both. I have to say Lewis Morris is probably the most similar thing you're going to get to Watchung in terms of comparison. You do have the horses and equestrians in addition to hikers and bikers. And the terrain is very similar, the rockiness of the soil, etc. Lewis Morris is a wonderful park. I love to go there. The problem is it's 45 minutes away. I get out of work at 4:30. I pass by Watchung on the way home. I can get a couple hours of riding. It's not just an issue of inconvenience that I have to drive further to go to the park. It's that I can't on weekdays go to the park. And all these other parks have demonstrated that, yes, we know occasionally you have a bad apple or a rude person or a careless person. When somebody speeds, do you shut down the roads to cars? Or do you penalize the malefactor? I have a firm conviction that mountain biking will return to Watchung Reservation shortly, hopefully sometime in my life. Like I said, I just turned 38 a few days ago. The last time I was able to ride there without looking over my shoulder was president. But the question is, will the current county administration be the one that can take credit for improving the county's park system? I'd like to thank the county. Thank you.
Good evening, Glenn Johnson, Westfield, New Jersey. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, freeholders, for your time here. I'm going to try and surprise what my friend Mr. Miles was trying to close up here in his presentation. And I know you guys have a copy that Mr. Stevens brought up a couple of, I think I have your name right. Is that correct, Mr. Stevens? O'Connell, I'm sorry. he's right, there are guys flying by on trails with hikers at 30 miles an hour. The problem is, if you don't have a master plan where you can limit or at least restrict access for bikes or hikers or equestrians, you're left to a free flow, right? And I think that doesn't serve anything. To Chairman Bergen, we do want everybody's concerns addressed. Mountain bike community currently, I think the presentation that you guys have demonstrates that Jorba over the years and all the volunteer groups around different counties have committed to do that. We do want to fix milestones for getting the park open. We've gotten a lot of lip service, we've gotten a lot of, also been ignored. Some of us have taken along our own hands and just written in there, because we so I ask you, Chairman Bergen, to commit tonight to fix milestones for when these different events will take place, trail design, will involve all the groups, equestrians, hikers, and bikers, and we need a plan, and sooner is better than later. Just anecdotally, my own experience, the signs came down whenever, December. I've run into numerous hikers, I think as Mr. Silverson said, and helped them, they're lost. And I can easily get them out of it. And in one case, I had a woman who was running, slipped and fell, cut her leg pretty well. I just started my ride, a water bottle, gave her that, was able to wash the wound out, have a towel with me, was able to wrap her leg up, get her out of it. These are just basic first aid, get her on her way, at least get her home so she can get cleaned up. But bottom line, next steps, keep the lines of communications open, and we need regular scheduled communications between the parks, Jorba, Union County, we'd like a mountain bike appointee from the county, and also include members of the hiking community and the equestrians. I'm particularly interested in talking to the farm manager from Barn, but I am interested in talking to the equestrian club members. We need to end the ban, as others have said, 20 years of exclusion. We can certainly allow bikes on select trails now and help with the integration of the master plan. And finally, we want to help manage the integration. We realize the park may change over time, use may change over time, and we may have to change trails over time. And we want to be part of that solution. So I thank you for your time and appreciate your consideration.
So for Builders this evening, my name is Bob Miller, I'm from Cranford. Just a couple more comments back on the Watchung Reservation. Freeholder Dallin had made a comment in the NJ.com article from 2015. Basically, the quote that echoes similar to what the chairman made earlier, that the legacy of the historic park system, which since the 20s had twin goals of preserving open space while providing the public with ample opportunity for recreation. I believe we've covered the opportunity for recreation as there is nothing available for mountain bikers in Union County. And we talked about a half hour, 45 minutes, different parks outside of the county. What that means to a lot of us, I have a 9-month-old daughter, for me to go pick up my bike, drive 45 minutes up to Chimney Rock or Lair, which is actually over an hour, unload the bike, go for a ride, put the bike back on the rack and drive home, turns a 75-minute ride into a 3-hour trek. It eliminates any possibility of doing that in the during the week, but also on the weekends. My wife's not too happy to leave the house in 3 hours to go have fun. So just to bring that up. But the second point about the preservation of open spaces, I think the hiker community, who I believe someone actually just might have left, would agree with me on this, that there are sections of the park that actually are opposed improvements to the county. I mean, they're impassable on foot, let alone on 2 wheels. For example, behind the village, there's a 3-foot concrete drainage pipe that spans the width of the trail. That pipe is system plugged. Water finds its way through. And there's now a 3-foot wide, approximately 4 feet deep trench that separates 2 sides of the trail from itself. There's several other parts like that. I urge the freeholders to go out and see for themselves. Myself, I'm sure any of the gentlemen over here would be more than happy to take you through, provide photographic evidence. I'm sure the hikers would also be happy to show you areas of the trail that are literally just report hazards for the county. The point I'm trying to make is the mountain bike community has been banned from this park for 20 years. The hiking community, either throughout the numbers or just not having enough of them, has been unable to keep up with basically keep up against nature. We have a group of large, able-bodied mountain bikers that are in shape that have proven that they can maintain these trails. The best part is it's free. It costs nothing. It takes risk away from the county. We've done it the old way for 20 years. Give us a shot. You should let us show you what we can do. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sean Harris Patrick Sullivan from Westfield. I'm first and foremost a hiker, but I have recently become a mountain biker. Growing up in Westfield, I always spent basically every weekend I'm in Watchung hiking with my family. And recently I got into mountain biking. I'm back to Westfield. Since thinking that the park was open, I rode there. I found that the trails were complete. As one of the hikers said, it was unsafe and they are unsafe. When you go to any other park in the state that allows mountain biking, I challenge all of you to go to any other park. Spend 10 minutes on any trail. Spend 10 minutes on any trail and watch home, and you'll see it's unsafe. And you'll find that in all the other parks, Lewis Morris, Belair, Hartshorn, Beaver Woods, Chimney Rock, that those trails are open and safe. Especially other places like Six Mile. All those places allow hikers, bikers, and horse riders to go through. Personally, I've never had any issues with any of the people on horses at any other park, as well as Watchung. Same thing with hikers. So I really urge you guys to go out and see what it's like, see what the trails are like, see what Jordan and what other volunteer organizations are doing. As far as I'm very happy to see that we're moving in the right direction and opening the park. But make sure you keep in mind that making a loop that is about an hour long for an average rider, that's not a racer, that's an average rider. Making it an hour long will maintain that rider will stay on those trails. I saw a proposed trail map that was put out, I guess, after you guys put out someone to look into it, and it looked about 20 minutes long for the average rider. I spoke to an engineer who also rides, and he came up with that same quote. You need about an hour. Without an hour ride, most people will just go off that trail and create issues. We want to make sure that we're a community and not going off the trails that are not designed for us. At Huber Woods, down at Hartshorn and Atlantic Highlands, there is a section that is you cannot ride it. People go to it and see that, and turn around and just keep riding the regular trails. Because you can spend hours there. It's safe. Everyone knows that you can ride, you can hike, and you can ride your horse. The other spot is just for horses and hikers, and that's fine. The other thing is the trail rating system, making sure that we're clear with the public that these trails are advanced or these trails are intermediate. We don't want kids to go, a high school kid go to Walmart, buy a $100 bike, ride a $100 bike down a few of the trails that are pretty advanced and fall and hurt themselves. We want it very publicly known that these trails are advanced and these trails are intermediate, as well as beginners, so that we can bring kids in, show them riding, show them outdoor recreation, not just looking at their phones all day, show them nature, and show them conservation. Studying environmental studies at the University of Vermont, I found that through my soil classes as well as forestry classes, most of the impact is actually put on by hikers as well as horse riders. It's just a weight thing as well as the boots. But we also know that mountain bikes are road trails. So we're here to help that. We're here to maintain the trails that we use. In closing, I just want to say thank you for having us here. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate that you guys are moving forward with this, and we'd really like to be a part of it. We'd like to have a council that involves cyclists, hikers, equestrian riders, and anyone else that is part of that. I mean, bird watchers, whoever. Anyone that's part of the Watchung community, we want to include. And we want to make sure that everyone gets their say and everyone has equal access. Thank you very much.